Hey, yeah, for today, for our narrative lesson, we are going to be writing stories about dreams, dreams that you might have had. So, one thing that I think would be really fun is to write a dream that I had and give you a bit of an example of what a dream a story about a dream could possibly sound like. Now, the dream I had for this was actually a real one that I had, but I added a little bit to the end and the beginning to make it a little bit more like a story and a little bit more interesting. The ending, spoilers, didn't actually happen, but I think it's pretty cool regardless. It makes it a much more fun story. So this is called The Kippax Woolworths Nightmare. As you can tell, it probably happened at Kippax Woolworths, which coincidentally is probably my least favorite Woolworths. It's always so busy. All right, let's go. It was 2, perhaps 3 in the morning. Creatures were stirring. However, I couldn't or wouldn't have noticed them. I was deep in slumber, dead to the world, if I was to use a metaphor to describe my current situation. I'm going to make that a capital. I may have been asleep, but my mind was incredibly active. I was about to embark on a journey, a dream. What a nightmare. That's fine. Okay, I was strolling through the aisles of Kippax Woolworths to collect the items on my shopping list. There was Crunchy Nut cereal, a large tin of Milo, a bag of cat treats, Rexona deodorant for my stinky armpits. Ew. I decided to turn down the cereal aisle, where I was greeted with large boxes of sugary sweet treats. Each box had a cartoon mascot, a distinct color on the box, and a noticeably sweeter scent than the previous aisle, the vegetable aisle. Yeah, it doesn't smell sweet in the vegetable aisle. I began to look for my mascot and color. I look and look, but there is no color and no mascot that tells me my Crunchy Nut cereal is there for me to be purchased. Disappointed and a little frustrated, I leave the aisle, accidentally colliding with an old, creepy man. His ears were full of long gray hair, his eyes were bloodshot and gray, and his skin looked like pale, crinkled paper. Ugh. Sorry, I say, looking directly into his mouth of yellowed teeth. Not a problem, says the creep with a deep, crackly voice. The hairs on the back of my neck begin to stand and tell me it's time to retrieve my large green tin of Milo. Shame he couldn't get his cereal. Well, I couldn't get my cereal. I walk with an anxious speed towards the Milo section, dodging and skipping around the casual shoppers who hadn't seen any of the creepy old man's eyes, ears, and mouth. Searching and searching and searching some more, I can't find the barrel of Milo tin, barrel like Milo tin. Not only that, Kippex Woolworths were sold out of the smaller Milo tins too. No way. Don't you hate it when that happens when there's just no Milo anywhere? What is going on? I thought to myself, as confused as can be. A large shadow falls over my shoulder. I freeze and listen to the deep, crackly breath behind me. Excuse me, says the old man in a soft, smoky voice. I watch his thin arm stretch out towards the shelf next to me. His fingernails were as sharp as an eagle's talons and were attached to what looked like scarred fingers. His hand his hand had a large bandage on it, and my mind was running a mile a minute, thinking of how it might have got there. Was it a fight? Was it a cat scratch? Was it a murder? Sorry. I moved with haste away from the man, away from the Milo aisle, away from my fear. This time I bumped people out of the way, and I went to find the yellow bag of cat treats. They are the only cat treats that my cat will eat. It is essential that I get them. No yellow cat treats, no blue cat treats, no treats of any kind, Kippax Woolies. You are useless, I scream at the top of my voice. Speech marks. Made a mistake. Good thing I'm reading it and editing it. I scream at the top of my voice. Kippax Woolies, you are useless, I scream at the top of my voice. This made many shoppers around me stop and stare at me as though I was crazy as a cut snake. If anyone doesn't know what that expression means, a cut snake is kind of like a little bit of imagery of the idea of a snake getting hurt and wriggling around like crazy, like that. Very crazy. But one shopper caught my eye, just one. My mouth fell open. My blood ran cold. It was him, standing right next to me. This time he was gasping with his hand stretched out. That horrible hand. I'm going to get you. Ah! I screamed like a little child. Mom! Probably did say mom. I ran, knocking over a Malteser display, a bunch of tissue boxes, and an old lady buying flowers. Get out of here, old lady. I burst out of the shopping centre, across a busy street, and into my car. Slam! I catch my breath, open my window, and sit for a minute. Thank goodness that's over. Just at that moment, the creepy old man appears at my open window. That creepy old man. I start to fumble with my keys to start the car and drive away as fast as a cheetah. But he calmly speaks to me. Here, have this. A little bottle of Rexona deodorant landed on my lap. You stink. I was choking to death in there. He waves his nose. You can say thank you if you want to. I begin to say, thank you. But I woke up. Phew. It was just a dream. I'm sweaty from my scary dream and realize quickly that I stink. As I go and get some deodorant, I trip over in the dark. What was that? Click. Flip the light switch. And there, laying in the middle of the hallway, is a box of Crunchy Nut and a large tin of Milo and some cat treats. And I can hear deep crackling, a deep crackly breathing coming from the bathroom, and a deep voice saying, You stink. The end. Now, I hope you like my story. What's going to happen is that I'm going to link you in the slides a blank one. A blank one. And what I want you to do is to use the senses, like we did with our poetry. Now, for my one, I use things like the hair standing on the back of my neck, or how the aisle smelled sweeter than the vegetable aisle, the cereal aisle. And then I also used other ones, other senses as well. And there were other times as well that I used metaphors and similes. I can run you through those metaphors like there was one right at the top. I can't remember where it was. Oh, I can't remember. I definitely used one though. Oh yeah. Um, I was dead to the world if I was to use a metaphor to describe my current situation. Dead to the world is not really a metaphor, but it's kind of a metaphor. It's a metaphor for saying that you're basically not aware of what's going on around you, the world being what's around you, and you're dead to it. So you're kind of like asleep. Um, Bit of a vague one. There was a bunch of other ones too. Um, like as crazy as a cut snake is a really good simile. There's also other ones that I put here, which was I should have colored these in. Should have. Oh yeah, his fingernails were as sharp as an eagle's talons and were attached to look like what looked like scarred fingers. So the eagle's talon was sharp as eagle talons. Um, and there was another one too, a couple more. Yeah. Anyway, I used the senses and I definitely used some uh, imagery. So please make sure that you use the senses to create imagery and to make comparisons to other things using metaphors and similes. Now this is your one, a blank document, and I'm going to attach it to the slides. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what you can do. Make it crazy, make it fun. Use your dreams to make a really interesting story. And have a great day.